A sunny morning stretches across the dry grasslands of Kalimani Reserve, on the edge of Ruaha National Park, Tanzania. Three veteran rangers, Daniel, Juma and Asha, were patrolling the red dust trail that wound between the thorn bushes. A faint cry like the sound of wind suddenly rang out from the bottom of the valley, causing all three to stop and listen. They rushed down and were stunned to see a mother elephant lying motionless from exhaustion after giving birth, her breath having stopped since the night before. Beside the mother elephant, a baby elephant still wet with amniotic fluid lay curled up, its skin wrinkled, its ears trembling with cold and panic. The umbilical cord was still covered in dust on her belly, showing that she had been born not long before her mother left the world. Daniel knelt down, placed his hand on the mother elephant's body, gently as if saying goodbye, then looked at the baby elephant's lost eyes. The baby elephant struggled, emitting a small squeal, then collapsed back onto the sand, its breathing shallow and irregular. Asha whispered, her voice trembling, that if they had been a few hours later, she might have had no one left to turn to. They quickly wrapped the baby in a rescue blanket, shielded its eyes from its mother's body, and together carried it to the ambulance. The pickup truck rocked on the bumpy road leading to the Tuli Elephant Rescue Center, located near the banks of the Limpopo River. In the back compartment, the baby elephant is placed on a bed of dry straw, tentatively called Keto, whose name means little pearl. Keto was wheezing, his eyes bloodshot and unresponsive to light, forcing Asha to constantly check his pupils. When Keto arrived, the chief veterinarian, Dr. Jonah Beale, was waiting, his eyes worried but calm. He immediately checked his temperature and heart rate, then leaned down to look into Keto's dull, unseeing eyes. After hours of care, IVs, and vision assessments, Jonah emerged from the treatment cage, sweat soaking his collar. He announced that Keto was still alive, but his eyes had not seen the world since birth. That night, Keto lay curled up in a straw-lined cage, his eyes bandaged, his small body shivering every time the night wind blew. The baby elephant's soft moans, searching for the lost warmth of its mother, left Asha standing outside the fence with tears welling up in her eyes. In the following days, although medicine helped reduce Keto's fever, his eyes remained in permanent darkness. What worried Jonah the most was that Keto almost refused to drink milk, turning his head away every time the bottle was brought. It was indifferent to the soft hay, did not respond to the gentle call, curled up as if wanting to disappear from the world. Blood tests showed Keto was dehydrated and malnourished despite 4 fluids and constant care. During the meeting, Jonah presented the data, saying that if Keto still refused to eat, they would have to seek special psychological support. After the meeting, Jonah didn't return to his room immediately but instead wandered along the fence, his eyes on the animal rescue center next door. Jonah suddenly remembered Mary mentioning an unusually quiet honey-colored golden retriever in the neighborhood. Inspired, he walked over to the farm where Mary was taking notes in front of a row of brightly lit white dog cages. In the quietest corner, a golden retriever with thick, golden fur lay curled up on an old blanket, its brown eyes sad. Mary introduced herself as Honey, the 8-year companion of an old tour guide who had died of old age. Since the day her owner passed away, Honey only eats when begged, and hardly pays any attention to caresses or affectionate calls. Jonah sat down next to the cage, silent for a long time, then suddenly realized in Honey's eyes there was the same loneliness as Keto. In a moment, an idea formed, these two sad souls could save each other. That night, Jonah read more about interspecies bonding, none of which mentioned blind elephants and therapy dogs, but he trusted his instincts. The next morning, he presented his idea to management, facing skeptical but undeterred looks. Sarah, the elephant manager, was worried that the dog's scent might scare Keto. However, Jonah patiently explains that both Keto and Honey are falling apart, and familiar therapy has failed. Finally, the management agreed, requiring close supervision and a willingness to separate the two if there was danger. An observation room was cleared, carpeted, and equipped with cameras, in preparation for the unprecedented meeting. In the afternoon, Honey was brought in by Mary, her leash loose, her tail wagging slightly but her gait still calm. It slowly walked around the room, sniffing every corner, then lay down in the middle of the floor, eyes turned toward the door, waiting. When Kido was picked up, his body was trembling, his ears were pressed against his head, and his trunk was curled tightly under his chest in fear. They set Kido down on the rug opposite Honey, then backed away, leaving a silence between the two creatures. For the first few minutes, there was only Kido's wheezing and the steady beeping of the heart monitor. Suddenly, Honey let out a soft moan, the sound warm like a lullaby. Kido's ears twitched slightly, his breathing slowed, his heartbeat calmed. Honey didn't come closer right away, just lay parallel so as not to put pressure on Kido. After a moment, it gently stretched its legs forward as an invitation to peace. Kido hesitantly stretched his trunk toward that warmth. The soft tip of the trunk lightly touched Honey's leg, paused, and then trembled slightly. Honey moved slightly, giving a small pressure in response, as if to say everything was okay. Looking through the glass, Jonah choked. For the first time since arriving at the center, Kido was no longer curled up in despair. The meeting only lasted an hour, but when he was carried back to the stable, Kido remained relaxed. That night, Asha reported that Kido had sniffed the bottle himself and taken the first small sip. Jonah decided to continue the daily meetings. For his part, Kido developed his own sounds just for Honey, soft coos, cooing gasps. When Kido was strong enough to stand, Honey sat next to the bowl of milk, allowing Kido to touch her shoulder with his trunk and follow her instructions. For the first time, Kido found a bowl of milk and took a long drink. His health improved, his skin became less wrinkled, and his once unsteady steps became more steady. In addition to physical recovery, Honey is like a living compass that helps Kido find his way. News of the blind elephant and guide dog spread. Many researchers came to Kalimani to observe that strange relationship. They noted how Honey adjusted her distance and pace according to Kido's mood. Under the shade of the acacia tree, Honey lay next to Kido as he slept, her warmth a substitute for a mother's arms. As time passed, Kido grew up quickly, his personality curious but always gentle with Honey. Honey also changed, her sad eyes gradually disappeared, and every morning she ran to the elephant stable to wait for the gate to open. When Kido was old enough to move to the semi-wild area, the center built a special enclosure for Honey to stay in. Several organizations offered to take them in, but Kido and Honey were eventually transferred to a research facility near the Okavango Delta. In the new place, Kido felt the sound of water, birds, and the smell of mud, while Honey led him through each safe grass path. Years passed, Honey's fur turned silver around her muzzle, walking slowly but still persistently beside Kido. As Honey's eyesight deteriorates with age, Kido gently taps her shoulder with his trunk, leading the way back. The image of a gray elephant walking next to an old yellow dog became a symbol of hope. Kido and Honey's story reminds us that family is not determined by species, but by the willingness to love unconditionally. Under the Okavango sunset, the two stopped by the lake, listening to the insects and the sound of the rippling water. Kido gently wrapped his trunk around Honey, and Honey leaned her head on his leg as a wordless thank you. On days when Honey was tired, Kido slowed down, shielding her from the wind with his body and letting Honey lean against his side to rest. Whenever Kido was lost in inner darkness, Honey would gently nuzzle his belly, creating warmth to keep his faith. The visitors were silent when they saw Kido bow to Honey, and Honey smiled with a pure gaze. The center staff said that with every breath, the two creatures healed each other's void. That friendship does not begin with species, but with the need to be protected. And on that sunny white grass, Kido and Honey still walk together, reminding the world that love always finds its way to the right place.